All right, we're going to go over the light bowgun. This weapon is quite a bit different than most of the other weapons in Monster Hunter in that it is a ranged weapon. It also doesn't have any sharpness to it. You don't have to ever worry about sharpening this weapon so that you can penetrate the hide on the monsters. There is another aspect that we'll go over on how that works, but you don't ever have to worry about that, which is really nice. So this weapon, when you want to ready it, it doesn't matter if you hit if you hit triangle or R2, it both will do the same thing, and it'll just pull your weapon right out. Sometimes weapons have different things that they do, but this one does not. Once the weapon is out, you can see that it has decent mobility on it, so this is a pretty good mobility weapon. It's also a very good beginner weapon because you can stay far away from the monster and not take a lot of its hits, and you can do range damage to it. And like I said, you don't have to worry about sharpening. So it's a very good beginner weapon for that reason. So now that we have gone over all of that, let's pull the weapon out and show off how it works. So you can hip fire with this weapon just by hitting R2, and you can see that the shots just kind of go off into the distance. That isn't necessarily a bad thing if the monster's big enough. However, most of the time the monster, might be moving, or you want to hit a specific spot on the monster. So you're going to want to hold down L2 to be able to aim a little bit better. This also shows your ammo down at the bottom. We have 4 shots of normal ammo right now. You can see that we have normal ammo by looking all the way on the far side of the screen over there. It says normal ammo. Right above that, it says 4 shots. We have an infinite number of those shots, but we can only do 4 in our chamber, so 4 in at a time, but we can reload as many times as we want. So that's basically what all that means over there. Above that, right above that, there is a gauge. I'm going to go over the gauge in a minute. And then right above that, there are 2 other ammo types, which I will also go over here in just a minute. So while you are doing this, there's a couple ways that you can fire this gun. So one is just aiming at it like this, hitting R2, which will fire your weapon, and it's going to do 10 damage per shot each time you shoot that weapon. You can reload with the triangle, or if you completely run out of ammo and you pull the trigger R2 again, it will automatically reload that way. So either one will work. You're going to want to try to get rid of all your ammo and then just reload it. But, if you're going between fights, maybe the boss ran off or whatever, and, or you have a little bit of downtime, you can go ahead and reload. The next thing we're going to talk about are the chaser shots. So when you're in a normal ammo mode or a couple of different modes, you can do chaser shots. Not all ammo is able to do chaser shots. You have to have multiple shots with that weapon or with that ammo type. Some ammo types only have 1 shot, so you can't do a chaser. But in this case, if we do fire and we follow it up with circle, it'll do a chaser shot. Notice that the chaser shot does 2 hits of 41 damage each rather than 3 hits of 10 damage each. So it gives you an additional 12 damage. Instead of that, 30 damage and 30 damage, it gives you 30 damage and 42 damage. So you want to make sure you're using those chaser shots as much as you can. Plus, I believe they fire a little bit faster than trying to just fire, shot, 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 shot. I don't know. Maybe they don't fire any faster. I feel like they do. But either way, they do a little bit more damage. So you're going to want to kind of do that. So that basically goes over the normal ammo and how you aim and shoot with this gun. Now, the bar right above that ammo, that little energy bar, that's going to be your energy mode that you can toggle on and off. So we're going to go ahead and hit that. So if we hit circle, it doesn't matter if you're aiming or not aiming, we're going to hit circle, and that turns on your energy mode. In energy mode, you can see that there's a double up arrow next to that 4. So that means that we can do rapid fire shots with this ammo type. So the only ones you can do rapid fire shots with this ammo type, or with rapid fire shots with, are this ammo type, which is the normal ammo. And if you hit L1, you can see the other possible ammo types. We have thunder and spread ammo here. Those can also be rapid fire in that mode, so you can use those in that way. There are other ammo types, but you can't see them when that mode is on. So let's go and switch down to the spread ammo. This is basically like your shotgun ammo. This is going to do a little bit more damage per shot, but you're going to want to be a little bit closer to your enemy so that you don't miss. Because if you come back here, you can see that the range on this, it'll eventually says out of range here. If we switch though to our normal ammo, you can see that it doesn't say out of range here. It actually says out of range like way back here somewhere. So it'll say out of range there. So you can see that the range is a lot longer on normal ammo than it is on the spread ammo. Now, that said, you still want to be very close or fairly close with the normal ammo, because if you are way back here, you're going to do very, very little damage. So let's pull the weapon out. And we're going to now fire. You can see I'm only doing 1 damage, and even if I do the chaser shot, I'm still only doing 2 damage on each of those. So you do have to be quite a bit closer to be able to do that full damage. I believe it's, I don't really know how close it is. Right about here somewhere. Let's see, exact. We'll get the exact for you. There you go. So right here is about the farthest you ever want to be from an enemy when you are shooting them, but you can back up a little bit more and still hit them. Now, we're going to go back to the spread ammo here. And this one also can do the rapid shot. So we can hit circle, put that into the energy mode, rapid shot. But you kind of want to be as close as possible. Let's say, well, let's get close first. If you're close and you fire, obviously you're going to hit all of those, a bunch of 4s, right? But if you back up way back here, you're still within range right here. You're still, see how you're only going to do like 1 damage each. But anyway, there's a spread there. So you want to make sure that you are really close. You're going to do more damage with the spread, but of course there is a big spread to it. You can also use this to follow up. So boom, with your chaser shot like so. And if you turn off your energy mode, you can see that it does a little bit more damage on each individual bullet, but there's fewer bullets. So again, try to use that energy mode. Now, you can't always use the energy mode, because as you see over there, that every time you fire with the energy mode active, you can see that it depletes some of that energy. To get that energy back, you just go out of energy mode, and it'll slowly start to go back up. If you want to, you can also attack, and when you do damage to something, it will continue to build that back up again. It's still very slow, but it does work. It's actually a little bit better, in my opinion, if you do that with normal ammo. You can kind of see it a little bit more. So you do that, you can see how much faster it goes back up with normal ammo. It builds up a little bit quicker. So that's how you want to build that back up, and then as soon as you can, you want to switch back to your energy mode on so that you're doing more damage with that rapid fire. Okay, so now that we have gone over all of that, let's talk about the other ammo types that are there that you can't use in rapid fire mode. So right now, like I showed you, you only have the, well, we didn't go over thunder. That's just like an elemental type. It's a thunder type damage. So it's just a little bit different of a type of ammo that you can use. But it can also be rapid fired. So we don't need to really go over that. It basically works the exact same as normal mode, but you only have 3 shots, and it does that. Okay, does shock damage, and it you can still do the chaser with it if you want to. So there you go. That's that. Now, if we go out of rapid fire mode, you can see that we now have freeze, we have paralysis, and we have pierce, and armor, and recovery ammo. So we have multiple different types of, or multiple additional types of ammo that we can now use. So we're going to go over each of these very quickly. So with the freeze ammo, we're going to go ahead and reload that. We do have 4 shots with that. It does very, very little damage, but it doesn't do very little damage, I'm sorry, but it does less damage, but it has a chance to freeze the enemy. So it does 8 damage per shot. You can also follow it up with a chaser, doing a little bit more, and it builds up freeze on an enemy the same way that other elemental things do. You can get different types of elemental ammo and things like that once you get into the full game, but I just want to kind of go over how some of these work. And then we have paralysis shot, which is also 3. That's going to do, this one's going to do very little damage when you actually fire with it. So it does 1 damage, but it has a chance to paralyze the enemy. And I believe you can also do the chaser shot with it. So you can fire, chaser shot. So it does the same amount of damage, but I believe it increases the chance that it's going to paralyze the enemy. And then you have, let's see, you have buff ammos here, which are like the armor and recovery ammos. So armor ammo, what you want to do with the armor ammo You only have one shot with this. This is why you can't do chasers with single shot rounds like this. You can fire this wherever you want. So let's say I want to fire it right over here. I have a group of my allies that are right over there. I fire it. It puts this smoke on the ground. Anyone that runs into that will get a buff. If you see directly above, you get an armor buff. That if you run into that, or if you're standing in it when it fires, that lasts for some duration. I don't know the exact duration on it, maybe a minute or two. It's not super long, but it's very nice to have, and you can just reload and use it again. Next up, we're going to do the recovery ammo. That basically works the exact same way as the armor ammo, but when you put this down, it stays there for a moment, just like the armor ammo does, and anybody that runs into it does regen their health slowly over time. So it doesn't last very long on the ground, but you can kind of, directly just fire it right on the ground, stand in it while you are fighting, and regen some of your health. So it recovers your health. There are other types of ammos in the game, and you just have to mess around with those to see how they work. Now, the last thing that we need to talk about here are the other two types of ammo. So if you look up in the top right, you can see Focus Blast Eagle Strike, which is R1. That is going to be the right 3 ammo shots on the top. So on the top, you have a single one by itself, and then right next to that, you have 3 more shots of ammo. If you use that ability, it fires this right here, and it does a significant amount of damage, but it does knock you back quite a bit. And then you can hold it down and charge it up and do that as well to do even more damage. So you're going to want to try to charge that up when you can, but if you want to just kind of get a quick 30 damage tag in there, you can just tap it. But charging it up, and then boom, maybe you have a sleeping monster in front of you. That's the best way to do that. Lastly, there is the single shot that you see over there. Well, not lastly. Let's go over how to recharge those. So those will recharge slowly over time. You can see that it's kind of flashing blue. They will recharge slowly over time. And then there it is. It comes right back. So you can see how those come back. I don't believe... if I'm correct, let's double check. I don't believe shooting with the gun brings them back any faster. I believe the only thing that shooting your gun does is it allows you to bring your rapid shot gauge back up. So don't try to think, oh, I'm going to shoot a bunch and I'm going to get those back. They're just going to come back over time. So you just kind of have to wait for them. So don't use them like crazy. Use them kind of sparingly, but make sure you're constantly using them, because if there's 3 of them there, you're kind of just wasting them. So anyway, that goes over that. The last thing is your special ammo. Now, special ammo is different for different types of weapons, and you can change it, all that kind of stuff. We go down here to our equipment information. You can see special ammo here under the equipment all the way down, right in the middle there. It says special ammo is the Wyvern Blast. So that's basically the special ammo that you're going to get on this particular weapon. Different weapons may have different special ammo types and those kind of things. So you ought to check the different weapons out. How that works is, in this particular case, is you are going to hit triangle and circle, and it will put down at your location a special thing, like a Wyvern Blast explosion thing. So what you want to do is you want to get to where you think the enemy is going to be. In this case, it's going to be the barrel, and we're going to put it down right there. That does last for about 30 seconds or so, so you have time to shoot it, but it doesn't do anything necessarily by itself. It just kind of sits there, but when the enemy is close to it, you shoot it, and it does an explosion. You can see how we hit the explosion of 35 damage, plus it did 10 additional damage from our normal shot. So we can shoot it again, 35 damage, and now it's gone. I think you can shoot it up to 4 times. There, it's back up. We can try it again. So I think you can shoot it up to 4 times. Let me go ahead and reload. It might only be the 3 times. So if we back up, 1, 2, 3. It's just the 3 times. Okay. So after 3 shots, it will go away. And I believe, though, with this one, shooting something or doing damage to something might bring it back a little bit faster, but I'm not 100% sure on that again. But it will come back over time. It doesn't stay gone very, very long. So whenever it is up, you do want to put that near the enemy that you are fighting. Go ahead and place that down, and then back up a little bit. That's kind of weird how it got placed there. But then you can shoot, and you're doing a bunch of extra damage to the enemy because you're shooting both of those things at once. Anyway, that is pretty much the Bowgun. That's pretty much how it works. There's not a whole lot else to it. It's a very, very simple weapon, but hopefully this helps you get into it and get started with it, and then you can kind of see how some of that ammo works. Once you get into the actual main game, you'll be able to mix and match and do all sorts of different types of ammo and be both a benefit to your party by giving them buffs, but also be able to do damage. Anyway, see you on the next one. Bye!